All right, man. Word on these streets is that Chris Paul may be targeting the Detroit Pistons as a destination. Let's talk about it. We back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building, and you got like a few teams. I think the Lakers was one, the Heat was one, and then maybe the Pistons was one. It's going around internet, social media, and he feel like he can fit here and blah blah. But yeah, we back. Motor City Sports Talk. Appreciate everybody for checking in. We're gonna double up real quick, man. The videos, one Piston, one Lion video, man. We approaching camp for Lions, and the NBA has been a fantastic offseason so far. Got me got me wishing the NBA season started next week, but it don't. But I don't care if Chris Paul want to come here, and obviously there are some hurdles to get him here, because if I'm taking a Chris Paul contract, if I'm the Pistons, which I'm not, I'd rather look at other alternative players, but I'll talk about that towards the end. But if I'm looking to get him, I want 2 number 1 picks from the Thunder, even though I wouldn't even entertain bringing him in. But before we even get to negotiating, I mean, you gotta get a stamp of approval from your star, Blake Griffin, because the way him and Blake Griffin went out with the Clippers, it didn't go well. All these superstars he bumped head with, DeAndre Jordan, he bumped heads with, a lot of people forget or don't know. Blake Griffin he bumped heads with, James Harden he bumped head with. So you gotta ask Blake, is that something that he willing to do? And then another thing you gotta ask yourself, is you willing to go into luxury tax for a player that's not gonna play all 82 games, that you're going to get load management to? And he may, miss 20, 30 games, but you got to ask yourself how much he got left in the tank. At the end of the day, you deal with that with Reggie Jackson, load management, and him being injured on and off. You're dealing with that with Blake. Andre Drummond is your only Iron Man out of your top players. Even the guys you brought in to be, the sister top players in Luke Kennard, he's been, very, very injured. But, maybe, they look at it like Chris Paul is humbled. Like, okay, he humbled. He maybe he'll do right, maybe act right, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks most of the time. And I think there are other alternatives, besides him. I mean, I forgot Dennis Schroeder was on the Thunder still. You got Dennis Schroeder out there. That's one of the guys that they could look to bring in. Dennis Smith Jr. I still, he's injury prone, real young, but he's one of those guys that they may be looking to get rid of out there. So there are other alternatives for them to look at, man, and try to bring in, but I just wouldn't do it. Unless Blake was like, you know what, we can make this happen, and I just still wouldn't do it. That's a lot of money for a guy that's past his prime. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of money for a guy that ain't a true leader and can really destroy a locker room. And then you trying to trade him and take a loss. But he wants to be here. Word on the streets is this is one of his destinations. So maybe the beef with Blake ain't that bad. Maybe it's something you can move forward from. But this ain't like no female beef. Females, they be beefing, they beef for a lifetime. They hold on to shit so long. You got female cousins and sisters and mothers that don't talk to each other for years and decades because of a boy or a couple of dollars. As males, as men, as the classic men, as the original man, not these purse and satchel wearing, fanny pack wearing, dudes out here. As real men, we can beef, we can, fight in the street for a minute, and then we can be cool, we can put it aside, you know what I'm saying? We can let it go and let bygones be bygones. That's one of the great things about having, male DNA. Well, it used to be. These dudes a little bit different now, but used to beef, crack jokes, fight it out in the streets, play one-on-one, or, put the gloves on, and then we able to move on from shit. So maybe in this case, that might be something like that, but I'd rather keep Reggie, to be honest. But hey, Motor City Sports Talk. Appreciate everybody for showing in, for checking in. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. Appreciate the love, support. Check out the channel out. Goodfellas Sports TV is the name. We gone.